The room is quiet now, except for a soft hum nearby. Maybe a fan turns slowly, or distant traffic breathes and fades. The light is low, gentle on your eyes, asking nothing from you. You have finally reached this moment, lying still, doing your best. The day was long, filled with tasks, screens, voices, and decisions. Your body is tired, yet the mind keeps walking in small circles. Thoughts arrive like unfinished conversations, then linger without leaving. Plans for tomorrow knock softly, even though tonight needs rest. Memories replay themselves, not loudly, but with patient persistence. If this feels familiar, you are not alone in this experience. Many good, hard-working people rest their heads just like this. The Buddha once noticed how the mind clings, even when weary. He spoke gently of a restless mind, like water stirred by wind. When the wind settles, the water clears on its own. Nothing needs forcing. Nothing needs fixing right now. Tonight is not about becoming better or reaching somewhere new. It is about allowing what is already here to soften. Like dust settling after footsteps leave a quiet room. In the old teachings, there is a simple reminder. Suffering eases when we stop arguing with the moment. Peace grows when attention rests kindly on what is present. This was shared again and again, in many quiet ways, in forests, under stars, beside villages falling asleep, always the same tone, calm, human, and deeply compassionate. You may feel the weight you carry in your chest, or a tightness behind the eyes, or across the shoulders. There is no need to push these feelings away. Simply noticing them is already a form of kindness. Awareness, the Buddha said, can be like a warm lamp. It does not chase shadows. It gently lights the room. As you listen, there is nothing you must remember, no lesson to master, no belief to hold tightly. These stories are like a river at night. You may float, or simply rest on the bank. The water knows how to move without effort. So does your breath, rising and falling quietly. Over the next hours, ancient Zen stories will unfold, not to change you, but to remind you gently, you are already allowed to rest, just as you are. These teachings have traveled centuries to reach tired hearts. They arrive now, not demanding attention, only offering company. You can listen lightly, or drift in and out. Sleep may come slowly, or suddenly, or in waves. All of this is perfectly fine tonight. Nothing here needs control or striving. So let your jaw loosen, your shoulders soften downward. Let the bed support you. Without question, let the night hold what you no longer need. If you'd like, feel free to share where you're listening from tonight. Story 1. The cup left on the desk. The office building stands empty now. Lights dimmed and quiet. One desk lamp still glows, patient, like a moon on a small lake. A single cup rests beside a stack of papers, forgotten but waiting, long after others left. A man once sat here, shoulders heavy. He stayed late every night, chasing perfect work, chasing approval, even at home. His mind returned here, unfinished and restless. One evening, an elderly monk passed through the building to visit. He noticed the light, the man, the cup, still half full. The monk said nothing, only sat quietly nearby. Minutes passed with no instruction, no judgment, no hurry. The man finally looked up, surprised by the gentle presence. He spoke of deadlines, fear, and the ache of never enough. The monk listened, like a wide sky receives passing clouds. Then he touched the cup, still warm, still useful. He said softly that effort without rest spills everywhere. In the old teachings, a verse reminds us gently, a mind overfilled cannot hold clear water. Wisdom begins with setting the cup down. That night, the man left the cup behind. He turned off the lamp and walked into the dark. The building breathed, and so did he. As you rest now, imagine placing your own cup down. Nothing inside you needs finishing tonight. Peace arrives when the hand finally opens. Story 2. The bridge at dusk. A wooden bridge crosses a narrow river outside town. At dusk, the water reflects orange clouds, drifting slowly. The boards creak gently. Familiar with many footsteps, a woman crossed this bridge each evening after work. Her thoughts raced ahead, bills unpaid, words unsaid. She walked fast, as if chased by tomorrow. One evening, rain began to fall without warning. She stopped under a small tree, breathing hard. An old farmer waited there too, calm and unbothered. They watched the rain soften the river's surface. The farmer spoke of a teaching he once heard. Walking too fast makes the bridge feel endless. In the Buddha's words, craving creates distance. Presence shortens even the longest crossing. The woman slowed. Step by step, the rain eased. The bridge remained steady. Nothing was chasing her after all. Only her thoughts had been running. Tonight, you may also be crossing a bridge. There is no need to hurry the next step. Stillness carries you farther than speed. Story 3. The unanswered letter. A letter sits folded inside a drawer, untouched. The paper has softened with time and quiet. Words written carefully, never sent. A man wrote it during a season of regret. He replayed old conversations every night. Sleep avoided him like a shy animal. One winter morning, he visited a monastery. He asked what to do with heavy thoughts. A nun pointed to falling snow outside. Snow does not correct where it lands. It simply rests, then melts. The teachings say thoughts behave the same. The letter stayed in the drawer. The man slept more easily that night. Some things release without being resolved. Let your own letters rest where they are. The heart knows when to loosen its grip. Story 4. The garden without weeds. Behind a small temple lay a simple garden. A novice monk pulled weeds every morning. They returned by afternoon, stubborn and familiar. Frustration grew with each passing day. He asked his teacher why effort failed. The teacher smiled and poured tea slowly. He spoke of a teaching from long ago. Trying to control the mind creates more growth. Understanding allows roots to loosen naturally. The novice rested under a tree that day. The garden looked no worse, no better. Peace grew where effort stopped fighting. Your thoughts may feel like weeds tonight. They are only signs of living soil. Story 5. The lamp during the storm. Wind rattles windows in a small coastal home. A storm moves through. Loud but temporary. Inside, one lamp glows steadily. A woman sits nearby, hands folded, tired. Her worries sound like the wind outside. Money, family, the weight of responsibility. She remembers a line once shared gently. Even storms depend on still air beneath. Awareness is the lamp that does not flicker. She breathes. The storm passes. The lamp remains, unchanged. So does the calm within you now. Story 6. The stone in the pocket. A man carries a stone in his pocket. He believes it reminds him to stay strong. Instead, it weighs him down daily. A teacher notices the habit and speaks kindly. Strength is knowing when to set things down. The stone returns to the river. The man walks lighter afterward. Nothing important was lost. Release is also a form of courage. Story 7. The quiet marketplace. A marketplace closes as evening arrives. Voices fade. Stalls empty. Dust settles. Only footsteps echo briefly. A merchant once feared silence like loss. Without noise. His thoughts felt too loud. A monk taught him to listen deeper. Silence, the monk said, is not empty. It is where truth rests comfortably. Tonight, let the market close inside you. Story 8. The cracked bowl. A ceramic bowl shows a long crack. It still holds water without complaint. A traveler worries it is broken. An elder laughs softly at the concern. Imperfection allows light to enter. This bowl has served many years. You too are allowed your cracks. Story 9. The long road home. A road stretches through open fields at night. Stars watch quietly, asking nothing. Footsteps slow as fatigue rises. A traveler remembers a teaching from youth. The path shortens when walked with patience. Home is not only a destination. Rest arrives before the door. Story 10. The last bell. A temple bell rings once before dawn. Its sound travels, then fades completely. No echo clings to the air. A student asks where the sound goes. The teacher answers with a smile. It returns to silence, where it came from. So do thoughts. When not held, so will you, drifting gently into rest. Story 11. The window that stayed open. Night settles gently over a small apartment. A single window remains open, letting cool air wander inside. Curtains move slowly, like quiet breathing. A man lies awake beneath that window, eyes half closed. Work emails echo faintly in his thoughts. Numbers, expectations. Small mistakes repeat themselves. He tells himself he should be asleep already. That pressure only tightens his chest. The open window feels like a mistake. Years ago, he heard a monk speak in a public hall. The monk talked about the mind closing itself. He said fresh air cannot enter a sealed room. The memory returns now. Softly, the man listens to distant sounds drifting in. A passing car. A dog far away. The wind. In the old teachings, awareness was compared to space. It allows everything, without holding anything. The mind rests when it stops guarding every thought. The man stops trying to fall asleep. He lets the window remain open. Cool air touches his face. Kind and patient. Thoughts come and go. No longer chased. Eventually, they thin out on their own. The night carries him gently onward. Peace, he realizes, enters through what we allow. Story 12. The chair by the door. A wooden chair sits by the front door. It has waited there for many years. Coats rest on it, then leave again. A woman often pauses by this chair at night. Her day clings to her like heavy fabric. Responsibilities pull at her sleeves. She once visited a retreat during burnout. A teacher spoke of arriving before leaving. Sit fully, before moving on. Tonight, she sits in the chair quietly. She feels her feet, her breathing, the floor. The teachings say presence is a form of care. Nothing asks her to hurry now. The chair supports her without judgment. Her shoulders soften. Her thoughts slow. Rest begins when arrival is complete. Story 13. The roadside lantern. A lantern glows beside a rural road. It marks a curve drivers often miss. Its light is steady, humble, useful. A traveler once stopped beside it late at night. He felt lost in more ways than one. Career changes, family strain, quiet fear. An old caretaker tended the lantern daily. He said the lantern does not chase travelers. It simply stands and shines. In the Dhammapada, light is awareness itself. It guides without effort. The traveler continued on calmly. You, too, carry such a lantern inside. Story 14. The slow pour. Steam rises from a teapot in a quiet kitchen. An elderly woman pours tea very slowly. Not a single drop spills. Her granddaughter once asked why she pours that way. The woman spoke of mindfulness learned long ago. Hurry breaks what patience preserves. Life, she said, pours itself constantly. Attention keeps the cup from overflowing. Tonight, let moments arrive slowly. Story 15. The bench under the tree. A bench rests beneath a wide tree. Leaves whisper stories, the wind forgets. Shadows move gently across the ground. A man sits there after a difficult week. He feels he should be stronger by now. The tree offers no such demand. A monk once taught that effort softens best with kindness. Judgment hardens the heart. Compassion loosens the knots. The bench holds him as he is. Story 16. The unlocked gate. An old gate stands slightly open. It has not been locked for years. Still, people hesitate before passing. A teacher once said, "Fear guards empty spaces." Freedom feels unfamiliar at first. You may pass through tonight. Story 17. The empty bowl at dawn. A monk wakes before sunrise. His bowl is empty, clean, waiting. He feels no lack. Emptiness, he learned, makes room for nourishment. Holding less feeds the spirit more. Let your night be such a bowl. Story 18. The fading footprints. Footprints trail along a sandy shore. Waves slowly erase each one. No effort is required. A woman worries about her past decisions. The ocean answers without words. Nothing must be carried forever. Story 19. The gentle clock. A clock ticks softly in a dark room. It does not rush the night. Time moves kindly when allowed. A teacher once said, "Patience befriends time. Resistance makes it heavy. Let the clock do its work." Story 20. The shared silence. Two friends sit quietly by a fire. No words pass between them. Warmth speaks enough. The Buddha taught that silence can be right speech. Understanding does not always need sound. Rest now, held by this shared quiet. Story 21. The river that did not hurry. A river moves through a wide valley at night. Moonlight rests on its surface like pale silk. The water makes no sound of effort. Long ago, a man walked beside this river each evening. He carried worry the way others carry bags. His job pressed hard. His family needed more. His sleep grew thin. He watched the river and felt impatient. It seemed slow, almost careless, winding instead of rushing. He thought of all the things waiting for him tomorrow. One night, he met an old fisherman sitting quietly. The fisherman's net lay folded, untouched. They watched the water together without speaking. After a while, the man spoke of pressure and falling behind. He said life felt like a race he could not win. The fisherman nodded, eyes still on the river. He spoke of a teaching heard long ago. The Buddha compared craving to thirst that never ends. The more one drinks in haste, the drier the mouth becomes. The fisherman dipped his hand into the river. Water flowed around his fingers without resistance. He said the river arrives everywhere it needs to go. That night, the man walked home more slowly. The river kept moving, patient and sure. He slept deeply for the first time in weeks. As you rest now, remember the river. Nothing meant for you will be missed by moving gently. Story 22. The lamp in the hallway. A hallway stretches quietly through an old house. One lamp glows at the far end. Its light is soft, never harsh. A woman wakes at night and walks this hallway often. Her thoughts follow her like shadows. Concerns about aging parents and unfinished work linger. She pauses beneath the lamp and breathes. Years ago, she learned a teaching from the Nikayas. Light does not argue with darkness. It simply shines. She stands still, letting the warmth reach her. Thoughts lose their sharp edges. The hallway feels shorter than before. She returns to bed without answers, but with ease. The lamp remains, steady and kind. Awareness, like this lamp, does not rush you. Story 23. The stone path after rain. Rain darkens a stone path behind a temple. Each stone gleams quietly under the sky. Footsteps slow naturally here. A visitor walks the path, tired from many choices. Every decision feels heavy, permanent. Regret whispers from behind. Worry pulls ahead. A monk once said, choices soften when seen clearly. Right view begins with gentleness. The path need not be judged, only walked. The visitor feels each stone beneath the feet, wet, solid, reliable. The mind settles into the body. Sometimes clarity comes through contact, not thinking. Story 24. The empty seat. An empty seat waits on a late-night bus. Streetlights pass like slow fireflies. The city hums, then quiets. A man sits alone, replaying a hard conversation. Words, he said. Words he withheld. His chest feels tight, unfinished. He recalls a teaching from the Abhaya Sutta. Speech rooted in kindness leaves fewer echoes. Silence can heal what words disturb. He rests against the seat and exhales. The bus carries him without asking more. Forgiveness often begins in stillness. Story 25. The shelf of old books. A shelf holds books no longer opened. Their pages smell of dust and memory. They wait without complaint. A woman touches their spines before sleep. She feels time passing faster than expected. Dreams once planned now feel distant. A teacher once spoke of impermanence gently. Nothing is wasted. Everything transforms. Even unread pages shape who we become. She turns off the light peacefully. The shelf remains, complete as it is. Story 26. The field at first light. Dawn touches a wide field, slowly. Mist lifts without instruction. Birdsong begins softly. A farmer stands watching, hands still. He once feared every bad season. Now he trusts the rhythm more. The Buddha spoke of conditions ripening. Patience allows causes to bear fruit. Rest grows when trust replaces control. Story 27. The unfinished song. A melody lingers without resolution. Notes fade into quiet air. The song does not insist on ending. A listener once felt uneasy with this. Completion felt safer than openness. A teacher smiled and said peace lives between notes. Let tonight remain open. Story 28. The door left ajar. A door stands slightly open in a dark room. Warm light spills onto the floor. Nothing rushes through. A tired heart notices this opening. Invitation does not demand movement. It simply exists. Freedom often waits this way. Story 29. The soft footsteps. Footsteps move quietly down a wooden stair. Each step listens before landing. The house remains asleep. Mindfulness. A monk once said, is respectful movement. It does not wake unnecessary noise. Move gently within yourself tonight. Story 30. The long exhale. Breath leaves the body slowly. The chest softens without effort. The night deepens kindly. A teacher once whispered to a student, nothing needs holding once released. Trust the long exhale. Sleep follows naturally after letting go. Story 31. The candle on the windowsill. A small candle rests on a quiet windowsill. Its flame barely moves. Steady and warm. Outside, the night holds everything gently. A woman lights this candle each evening before bed. It began during a difficult year of uncertainty. Work changed. Relationships shifted. Confidence thinned. She noticed how the flame never rushed. It leaned when air moved, then returned upright. Nothing forced it to stay perfectly still. One night, she remembered a teaching from long ago. The Buddha spoke of the middle way, not pushing too hard, not giving up completely. The candle showed this without words. It burned calmly, using just enough fuel. When the wax softened, the flame stayed bright. She sat watching. Breathing slowed by its rhythm. Her worries felt less solid, more like passing air. The room grew warmer, safer, quieter. Before sleep, she whispered, "Thank you," to the flame, not because it solved anything, but because it stayed present. Sometimes, presence itself is the teaching. Story 32. The long table. A long wooden table sits in a dim kitchen. Its surface shows marks from many years. Meals shared. Arguments cooled. Silence honored. A man sits alone at this table late at night. He scrolls through old messages on his phone. Voices from the past feel louder than the present. He remembers a monk speaking about memory. The mind replays what it cannot release. Attention loosens the replay gently. He places the phone face down. His hands rest on the table. Solid and real. The present moment answers quietly. The table does not judge who once sat there. It simply supports what is here now. His breath slows. Shoulders drop. Peace often waits beneath what we touch. Story 33. The path through fog. Fog covers a narrow path in early morning. Only a few steps ahead are visible. The rest remains unknown. A traveler once feared such mornings. Not seeing far made the heart race. Control felt lost in the white air. An elder taught him a gentle truth. You only ever walk one step at a time. Seeing farther is unnecessary. The traveler trusted the ground beneath each foot. The fog thinned when it was ready. The path continued without surprise. Tonight, you do not need the whole way. This moment is enough. Story 34. The teacup cooling. A cup of tea cools on a low table. Steam rises, then fades completely. The tea remains. A woman waits for the perfect temperature. She once rushed everything in life. Burned fingers taught her patience. The Buddha spoke of wise timing, knowing when to act and when to wait. Both are forms of understanding. She sips slowly. grateful for warmth without pain. The night feels less sharp. Let things cool when they need to. Story 35. The bench at the station. A train station grows quiet after midnight. One bench remains occupied. Lights hum softly overhead. A man waits for a delayed train. He feels behind in life. Again, everyone else seems to arrive sooner. An old memory surfaces. A teaching from the Jataka tales. Journeys unfold at their own pace. Comparison clouds the joy of arrival. He rests against the bench, eyes closing briefly. The train comes when it comes. Rest is also part of the journey. Story 36. The open notebook. A notebook lies open on a bedside table. Blank pages reflect lamplight softly. No words demand to be written. A woman once filled pages with worry lists. Plans multiplied. Sleep disappeared. Tonight, the page stays empty. A teacher once said, "The mind needs space." Emptiness invites clarity. Silence writes its own wisdom. She closes the notebook gently. The night feels complete without notes. Story 37. The shoreline at night. Waves touch the shore with steady rhythm. Each one arrives. Each one leaves. The ocean keeps no score. A listener once stood here grieving. Loss felt endless. Like the dark water, a monk spoke beside her quietly. He said, "Grief moves like waves. Allow it, and it passes. Resist it, and it grows heavy." She listened to the water instead of her thoughts. The tide carried some weight away. Let the waves move through you tonight. Story 38. The unlocked drawer. A drawer slides open easily. Nothing inside needs hiding anymore. Old letters, small keepsakes, rest peacefully. A man once feared opening this drawer. Memories felt sharp and unfinished. But time softened their edges. The Buddha taught impermanence with kindness. Nothing stays as it was. Pain transforms when allowed. He closes the drawer calmly. The room feels lighter. Story 39. The gentle rain. Rain taps softly on a roof. No thunder. No urgency. Just steady release. A tired mind listens and follows the rhythm. Thoughts slow to match the sound. Breathing deepens naturally. A teacher once said, "Nature preaches constantly. Rain teaches letting go. Let the night wash gently through you." Story 40. The quiet bow. A monk bows at the end of each day, not to an altar alone, but to effort, rest, and being human. A student once asked why he bowed so often. The monk smiled and answered softly, "Gratitude keeps the heart light. As you rest now, bow inwardly. To all you carried today, to all you are releasing tonight." The bow completes itself in silence. Story 41. The light left on in the kitchen. The kitchen is quiet now. Long after dinner ended, one small light remains on above the sink. It casts a warm circle on the counter. Gentle and steady. A man stands there in socks, not quite ready for bed. The house is asleep, but his mind keeps moving. Emails replay. Conversations echo. Worries line up patiently. He washes a single cup slowly, feeling the water run. The warmth moves through his hands like reassurance. This light was left on by habit, not intention. Years ago, during a time of deep exhaustion, he attended a small talk at a local center. An elderly teacher spoke about right effort. She said effort does not mean constant pushing. It means knowing when enough has already been done. A lamp left on can guide, without demanding attention. Standing there now, He remembers those words. The cup is clean. The counter clear. Nothing else waits for him tonight. He turns off the light carefully, without hurry. Darkness enters softly, without resistance. The kitchen rests, and so does he. Sometimes, peace arrives when we stop adding more light. Story 42. The old sweater. An old sweater hangs on the back of a chair. Its fabric is worn thin at the elbows. Still, it feels familiar and safe. A woman wraps it around herself before bed. It carries memories of colder years, times when comfort was simple and needed. She once heard a nun speak of contentment. Happiness grows from appreciating what already warms us. Chasing more often leaves us colder. The sweater holds her without expectation. Her breathing slows. Her thoughts soften. The past rests quietly beside her. Enough has always been closer than we think. Story 43. The road with fewer signs. A road stretches through open land at night. Few signs mark the way. Stars offer quiet guidance above. A driver once felt anxious on this road. Without signs, doubt filled the silence. He wanted certainty at every turn. A teacher later spoke of trust in awareness. When attention is present, the path reveals itself. Too many signs can distract the heart. The driver relaxed his grip on the wheel. The road carried him home. Trust grows when we allow space. Story 44. The bowl of rice. A simple bowl of rice steams gently. Nothing added. Nothing missing. Its warmth fills the room. A monk once said, "Nourishment is more than food. It is receiving without complaint." Gratitude sweetens even plain meals. As you rest, let simplicity feed you. Story 45. The clock without numbers. A clock hangs on the wall. Faces smooth. No numbers mark the hours. Only the hands move slowly. A man once removed the numbers intentionally. Time felt kinder without constant measurement. Sleep returned when pressure faded. The Buddha taught freedom from grasping. Even time loosens when not tightly held. Tonight, let hours pass unnamed. Story 46. The shoes by the door. Shoes rest neatly by the door. They have carried weight all day. Now they rest without purpose. A teacher once said, "Rest honors effort." Without rest, effort becomes suffering. Let your body be like these shoes. Story 47. The quiet street lamp. A street lamp glows outside a bedroom window. It does not brighten the whole street, only enough to be kind. A tired mind watches it flicker slightly. Thoughts dim along with the light. Nothing needs solving tonight. Awareness shines just enough. Story 48. The unanswered phone. A phone lies face down on a table. No messages arrive. Silence feels unfamiliar at first. A monk once taught about wise boundaries. Not every call requires an answer. Rest needs protection. The phone stays quiet. So does the heart. Story 49. The breath between words. Conversation ends. Silence follows. The pause holds more than speech. Meaning settles there. The Buddha spoke of right speech. Sometimes the kindest words are unspoken. Rest in the pause tonight. Story 50. The long night turning. The night stretches calmly around you. Stars shift without announcement. Morning prepares quietly. An old teacher once whispered to a student, "Nothing stays. Not even this night. Trust the turning. Sleep carries you gently toward dawn." Story 51. The porch light at midnight. The porch light glows softly against the dark yard. Insects drift lazily through its warm circle. The rest of the night stays wide and quiet. A man sits inside, watching from the couch. Sleep has not yet arrived, though his body is ready. His thoughts wander through work, family, old decisions. He remembers growing up in a smaller house. That same porch light stayed on every night. It meant someone was home, waiting without pressure. Years later, he heard a Zen teacher speak gently. The teacher said safety allows the mind to rest. Without safety, thoughts keep watch all night. The man breathes slowly and notices the room. The floor beneath him is steady. The walls hold warmth from the day. Nothing dangerous waits in this moment. Nothing demands fixing before morning. The porch light remains, steady and enough. He turns his attention to breathing. Each exhale feels like stepping inside. The mind stops pacing at the doorway. Sleep arrives when the inner light stays on. Story 52. The stack of unused calendars. A drawer holds old calendars from past years. Pages still crisp. Dates long gone. Plans imagined. Never lived. A woman opens the drawer late at night. She feels time moving faster than she expected. Regret settles quietly beside her. At a retreat once, she heard a teaching. The present moment is the only calendar. Everything else is memory or hope. She closes the drawer without sorting. The weight lifts slightly from her chest. Tonight has no date to meet. Being here is already complete. Story 53. The soft carpet. Bare feet touch a soft carpet in the dark. The texture is grounding, familiar. Each step slows naturally. A tired parent walks the hallway before bed. The house finally rests after a long day. Responsibility still hums quietly inside. A monk once spoke of mindfulness in movement. Feel the step fully, and the mind follows. Care begins with simple contact. The parent pauses, feeling the floor. The body remembers how to settle. The night welcomes them gently. Peace begins under your feet. Story 54. The open window at dawn. Early light enters through an open window. Birds begin without performance. Air moves freely through the room. A woman wakes briefly, then rests again. Her worries loosen their grip. The world seems capable without her effort. The Buddha spoke of non-self softly. Life unfolds without constant control. She sleeps, trusting the morning. Story 55. The tea kettle cooling. A kettle cools on the stove. Its work finished for now. Steam no longer rises. A man remembers pushing himself too long. Burnout arrived quietly. Then all at once, rest once felt like failure. A teacher later said, stopping is wisdom. Heat needs cooling to remain useful. The kettle rests. So can you. Story 56. The library at closing time. A library dims its lights one by one. Books remain, though readers leave. Knowledge rests without effort. A student once feared forgetting everything. The pressure made learning heavy. A monk said, understanding stays quietly inside. The doors close gently. Nothing important is lost. Rest preserves what matters. Story 57. The moon over the parking lot. The moon hangs above an empty parking lot. Painted lines fade into shadow. No cars move. A worker sits in their car. Engine off. Another long shift completed. The mind still races ahead. The Buddha compared thoughts to passing clouds. The moon remains untouched. The worker looks up, breathing slowly. The night reflects calm back to them. You are not your passing thoughts. Story 58. The folded blanket. A blanket is folded neatly at the bed's edge. Its weight promises comfort. No urgency surrounds it. A woman once struggled to rest fully. She believed she must earn it. A nun said rest is not a reward. She pulls the blanket up gently. Warmth spreads without question. You are allowed this rest. Story 59. The empty email inbox. An inbox shows no new messages. The screen glows softly, then dims. Silence feels strange at first. A man remembers fearing missing something important. Constant checking stole his evenings. A teacher spoke of right attention. He shuts the laptop slowly. The night opens wider. Nothing urgent remains. Story 60. The quiet thank you. The day finally releases its hold. Breath deepens. Muscles soften. The night listens kindly. An old Zen teacher once ended each day the same. He whispered thank you, without naming reasons. Gratitude closed the mind gently. As you rest now, offer the same, not for perfection, not for answers, just for being here. Breathing. The thank you fades into sleep. Story 61. The chair facing the window. A wooden chair stands facing a window in a quiet room. Moonlight rests on the floor. Pale and patient, the night outside moves slowly. Without concern, a woman lowers herself into the chair after a long day. Her back aches softly. Her thoughts louder than her body. Work followed her home again, settling into her chest. She does not turn on a light. The window is enough. The world looks gentler in shadow. Years ago, she attended a small gathering at a temple. An elderly teacher spoke about sitting without purpose. He said stillness allows life to speak first. Now, sitting here, she remembers those words. Her breath begins to lengthen naturally. The chair holds her weight without judgment. Thoughts rise, then drift, like distant headlights. She does not chase them or push them away. They pass when not invited to stay. The teachings once compared the mind to a guest house. Guests arrive. Guests leave. The house remains. She feels the night leaning closer. The room feels safe. Complete. Nothing else is required. Rest comes when the chair, the window, and the breath agree. Story 62. The roadside rest area. A rest area appears along a dark highway. Lights glow softly, offering pause. Engines quiet. Doors close gently. A man pulls over, hands tired from gripping. He has driven far, farther than planned. His thoughts stayed tense mile after mile. He steps out and stretches beneath the stars. The night air cools his face. The road does not ask him to hurry. A memory surfaces of a teaching from long ago. Even the Buddha paused beneath trees. Rest was never considered weakness. He sits on a bench and breathes slowly. The hum inside his chest fades. The journey feels lighter already. Sometimes the wisest move is stopping. Story 63. The cupboard door. A cupboard door creaks softly when opened. Plates rest neatly inside, undisturbed. Everything has a place. A tired parent opens it late at night. Tomorrow's responsibilities line up quietly. The weight feels familiar. A monk once said, "Order outside calms the mind." Simple care creates inner ease. Nothing fancy. Nothing forced. The cupboard closes gently. The house sighs with relief. Care begins with small closings. Story 64. The long shadow. A streetlight casts a long shadow across the sidewalk. It stretches, then fades into darkness. The night accepts it without comment. A man walks home slowly beneath it. He worries about mistakes made long ago. Shadows of regret feel endless. A teacher once spoke of karma gently. What matters most is the next step. The present reshapes the past. The man keeps walking. The shadow changes, then disappears. No shadow follows forever. Story 65. The quiet refrigerator. The refrigerator hums softly in the kitchen. A steady sound, reliable and calm. It works without recognition. A woman stands listening, half asleep. Her mind finally slows to the hum. Thoughts settle into rhythm. The Buddha spoke of contentment. Enough hums quietly when noticed. She returns to bed peacefully. Story 66. The folded clothes. Clean clothes lie folded on the bed. Edges neat. Colors calm. They wait without urgency. A man once rushed every task. Completion mattered more than care. Exhaustion followed closely. A teacher showed him folding mindfully. Each movement became a breath. The task turned into rest. Tonight, the clothes remain folded. The body rests too. Care slows the world. Story 67. The darkened screen. A phone screen goes dark on the table. The glow fades completely. The room feels larger. A restless mind once feared disconnection. Silence felt like loss. A nun taught silence is nourishment. The phone stays still. The heart follows. Quiet feeds what noise cannot. Story 68. The evening bell revisited. A bell rings faintly from a distant tower. Its sound travels, then dissolves. Nothing chases it. A listener remembers the teaching. Sound arises. Sound fades. So do thoughts. The bell is gone. Peace remains. Story 69. The unlocked bicycle. A bicycle leans against a fence. Unlocked. Unguarded. Trust rests easily here. A man once feared loss constantly. Holding tight brought no peace. A teacher spoke of generosity. Letting go lightens the load. Story 70. The last light before sleep. One small light remains on in the room. It glows softly, then dims. The night deepens kindly. An old Zen master once said quietly, "Sleep comes when the heart feels finished. Nothing more needs doing." The light goes out. The body follows. Story 71. The lamp by the staircase. A small lamp glows beside the staircase in an old house. Its light spills gently across the first few steps. Above, the stairs disappear into darkness without fear. A woman stands at the bottom, tired from a full day. Her legs ache slightly, her mind more than her body. Tomorrow's responsibilities line up quietly behind her eyes. She does not rush upstairs. Instead, she pauses, hand resting on the banister. The wood feels smooth, worn by many evenings like this. Long ago, she visited a Zen center during burnout. An elderly teacher spoke softly about effort and trust. He said light only needs to show the next step. Standing here now, she understands without thinking. The lamp does not light the whole staircase. It offers just enough, and that is sufficient. She takes one step, then another. The body remembers how to move without pressure. Thoughts loosen their grip as attention shifts downward. By the time she reaches the top, the day has lost its sharp edges. The darkness beyond the lamp feels welcoming, not threatening. In the teachings, the Buddha spoke of the present step. Freedom lives here, not farther ahead. The path unfolds as we walk it. As you rest tonight, let one step be enough. Story 72. The quiet mailbox. A metal mailbox stands at the edge of a driveway. It is empty now. door gently closed. No messages wait inside. A man checks it out of habit every evening. Bills once filled it. Heavy with worry. Expectations arrived, folded into envelopes. Tonight, the box is light. He touches the cool metal and breathes. Nothing has come. And that is fine. He remembers a teaching from the Kalama Sutta. Do not carry what does not serve peace. Discernment includes setting things down. He walks back toward the house slowly. The night air feels forgiving. The mailbox stays where it is, doing its quiet job. Not every day brings news. Some days bring rest instead. Story 73. The kitchen table. After midnight, the kitchen table holds only a bowl and spoon. Moonlight reaches it through the window. The room feels spacious and kind. A parent sits there after the house sleeps. The day demanded patience from every direction. Small frustrations piled quietly inside. They remember a monk speaking about simplicity. When the mind is crowded, reduce the room. One bowl, one breath, one moment. Sitting here now, they feel supported by stillness. The table does not ask for explanation. The bowl reflects light calmly. In the Sayutta Nikaya, calm was praised as nourishment. Stillness feeds where effort exhausts. The spoon rests untouched. Nothing needs fixing tonight. Story 74. The street after rain. Rain has washed the street clean. Pavement shines under distant lamps. Footsteps echo softly, then fade. A woman walks home slowly. Umbrella closed. The rain ended without asking permission. Her worries feel less solid now. She recalls a teaching about impermanence. Everything that gathers will dissolve. Even heavy thoughts soften with time. Her shoes tap gently on the ground. The night accepts each sound. She feels lighter with every step. Nothing needs to stay the same. Story 75. The bedside glass of water. A glass of water sits on the nightstand. Its surface is still, catching faint light. It waits without urgency. A man reaches for it during a restless night. One sip cools his throat. Another sip slows his breathing. A teacher once compared the mind to water. When left undisturbed, it clears itself. No stirring is required. He sets the glass back gently. The water remains calm. So does his chest. Let stillness do its quiet work. Story 76. The train passing in the distance. A train horn sounds far away. The vibration travels, then fades. The night absorbs it completely. Someone lying awake listens without resistance. The sound does not belong to them. Neither do the thoughts passing through. The Buddha spoke of non-attachment simply. Let things come. Let them go. The train moves on. Silence returns. Story 77. The blanket at the foot of the bed. A blanket rests folded near the feet. Its weight promises comfort when needed. It does not insist on use. A tired body notices this quiet offering. Choice feels kinder than demand. Rest arrives gently. In the teachings, compassion begins with oneself. Warmth given freely heals deeply. The blanket covers what it must. Story 78. The empty sidewalk. A sidewalk stretches under soft streetlight. No one walks there now. The space feels open and safe. A mind once feared emptiness. Silence felt like being forgotten. A monk spoke of spaciousness as freedom. Nothing presses in this open space. Breathing feels easier. Emptiness can be kind. Story 79. The last dish drying. A single dish dries on the rack. Water beads disappear slowly. The task is complete. A woman once rushed through endings. Completion felt uncomfortable. A teacher said endings allow rest. The dish waits quietly. So does the mind. Let things finish. Story 80. The gentle nod. An elderly Zen teacher ends the evening teaching. No long speech. No final command. Just a gentle nod. A student once asked what it meant. The teacher replied softly, "Trust what has already been given. As you lie here now, nothing more is required." The night nods back, and sleep follows. The night has been listening the whole time. It does not hurry you towards sleep. It simply stays, steady and patient. Your body knows this rhythm already. The slow rise of breath, the gentle fall back into stillness. Nothing more needs understanding now. Thoughts may drift like leaves on dark water. You do not have to follow them. The teachings shared tonight were never meant to be held. They are like warm hands. Then a quiet release. What remains is simple ease. If the mind speaks again, let it speak softly. If silence comes, welcome it without comment. Both belong here equally. The bed supports you without effort. The room keeps watch, so you do not have to. The world can wait until morning. An old Zen master once whispered at day's end, "Rest is not something you earn. It is something you allow." So allow your shoulders to sink a little deeper. Allow the jaw to loosen. Allow the breath to find its own pace. Sleep does not need invitation anymore. It arrives when resistance fades, like dusk becoming night without announcement. If dreams come, let them be gentle. If deep quiet comes, trust it fully. Either way, you are safe. The stories fade now. Like lanterns at dawn, their work is finished. Your only task is rest. Good night.